The smartest thing you can do today is learn the automation skills that 99% of people ignore. If you don't know who I am, my name's Luke, and in this alchemy lesson, you're going to learn how to use AI for your business or provide to other businesses. And I really love this platform because it gives me just so much freedom and I think, flexibility to really meet where the business needs are needed. And in this kind of just alchemy lesson, you're going to learn how to basically use NAN to basically make that happen. So let's get started. So as you can see, you're going to see this a little bit complex screen. All you have to do is click create workflow, and then bam, you're in. With this dashboard, you're going to see this plus button, which is basically how you can plug and play things, where for this tutorial we're going to show you how to basically test your agents out so you don't need to do a lot of stuff. So what we're going to do is click the chat button, and then bam, we're set. We can open up the chat, have a conversation with it to basically test all our automations out. And as you can see, it gives you a little bit of kind of just hints to how this platform works, where it kind of just flows, right? So I think that's really important to keep in mind. So we're gonna restart this session to kind of just clear it, and then we are going to tap into the AI section. And agents are pretty easy to use on NAN, so don't really get too worried about it. But basically, the chat model is how the agent speaks, so it's kind of like the voice, and then the memory is like the brain of the chat or of the agent, and then the tools is kind of how the agent really excels at moving around in your workflows. So what we're going to do is click the plus button, and we're going to use OpenRouter, which is like a hub for just like LLMs like ChatGPT, Anthropic, DeepSeek, and all of that nature. So now what we're going to do is we're going to create a new credential, which is how most of these platforms operate. They operate by a API key, which is basically kind of like how these apps communicate to each other, which is really important to keep in mind because you can't use an application if it does not have a API key. Copy, and then boom, we save, and then we are all connected. Now we're going to use OpenAI to basically use the models. Then we're going to grab our brain, and don't worry about all this stuff, just focus on the simple memory, which will keep the agent just aware of previous conversations, and then boom. All right, we are all set. So now what we're going to do is just see this agent in action. You see, it called the AI, and now we got a response, and then it uploaded the memory in the brain. And then when I say what's my name, it will actually look into the memory base and pull my name and give you that. So I think that this is a great way to test models. So we can open up OpenRouter, and let's say we're going to use ChatGPT 5, which is the newest model. And if you're not familiar with ChatGPT, it had like a insane amount of models, and now everything's just done with ChatGPT 5. But with OpenRouter, you can really select anything. But for this video, we're just gonna cover ChatGPT and then say, hey, what's my name and what model are you? Question mark. Give it a little bit harder question. See if it's self-aware. And yeah, it's aware that it's ChatGPT, which is pretty cool. But yeah. Alright, so that's the end of this alchemy lesson. I hope that you kind of just understand why it's really important to kind of just test models with this. And yeah, so your homework is to basically create an AI agent and to basically, play around with OpenRouter. And all you have to do is go to OpenRouter, go to keys, create API key, and then bam, you're all set. And I'm gonna actually delete this key so you guys can't access it. But yeah, that's the video. Hope you enjoy. And we're gonna save.